Hey, y'all, and welcome to day number 18 of the WSOP and to the fourth annual WSOP and All Vegas Poker Daily Spaces coverage. I'm Sherry Pluskota, aka the White Oprah of the poker community. Yes, I'm milking that to the fullest because I think it's hilarious. Please be reminded that we will always. Of course, somebody's trying to call me. Let's do that again. Please be reminded that we will always try to give the most updated and accurate information possible, but we are human and the information is always fluid in the poker world. So please make sure to double check any information we provide to ensure yourself the best experience possible. And please correct us if we're wrong. We want to get it right. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sherry Pluskota 9212, where you can find the recordings of all my past spaces and interviews. I think we're up to through day 15 has been uploaded. Many thanks to Sean McCormick and Craig Larson over at the Bellagio and MGM properties for hosting our seventh official Spaces meetup game at the Bellagio at 2 p.m. on June 26th. It is a cash game and pizza will be provided. In case you were wondering what kind of stuff we're going to be giving away that day, I went ahead and posted it all yesterday. I made a tweet per item so that everybody could have a bird's eye view of all the fun stuff we're going to give away that day. When I was doing it, I was like, holy smokes, we got some amazing stuff to give away, and I'm all about it. So many thanks for those donations that have come from far and near. The Quill for Charity fundraiser is ongoing. Please consider making a tax-deductible donation via the designated link to Poker Gives Charity. Feed the Homeless program. The $10 donation will get you one ticket, and a $25 donation will get you 5 tickets. Don't miss your chance to win this one-of-a-kind autographed poker t-shirt quilt. And again, I'll be at the WPA booth, which is going to be right outside the Paris Ballroom. The hallway between the ballroom and registration for the WSOP. I'll be there on the 24th and 25th of June. Not quite sure the time yet. I believe on the 24th, maybe 10, 11 o'clock to maybe 2 or 3. And then on the 25th, I think that day we start at noon. The table's there from noon on, maybe noon to 4 or something. So I'll probably be there noon or some shortly after until maybe 2. I don't plan to stay there the whole time that they have the booth open, just because, I'd like to enjoy my vacation and my time in Vegas as well. So definitely will be there a couple hours each of those days. So come on by and sign that quilt. Don't forget, tomorrow is Saturdays with Papa Poker, with Papa Poker. He'll be back with us. He was out of town last weekend for a family gathering, and good for him. So he'll be with us tomorrow. National Open Chess Championship is ongoing right now through the 14th of June at the Westgate. Our friend Ben Feingold, I can spit that out, I promise. Ben Feingold, who is a grandmaster and the hubby of our friend Karen Chest, is there. And guess what? Why don't you go try to play him in chess? I don't know if he's doing, taking challenges. I don't know how all that works, but there's lots of chess being played there for sure. So if you love chess, you definitely should go by the Westgate and check that out. The TDA Summit is at the PokerGo Studio, June 29th and 30th. June 29th is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and the 30th is 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Don't forget to RSVP via the link that Matt has been posting on his social media. On Monday, Aaron Barone will join us. Will join us. If you remember, last summer he hung out in my space quite a bit with us, and some of us got to meet him in person at the poker.org lounge when I was there I think it was the day I was there to interview Scotty Wynn. I think Aaron ended up joining us just out of the clear blue sky. So he will join us on Monday and talk about his poker and what he's doing with 888 Poker and his streaming and all that kind of fun stuff.
Definitely needs to update those t-shirts from last year.
Well, we're going to talk about that. with him on Monday. So that's kind of a fun thing. I was just typing up the questions this morning and I was like, oh, we got to do the t-shirt question because it is kind of fun. And we're going to just, you know, keep that to ourselves for a few minutes or so. I'm really hoping today is the kickoff to give away free tickets to the drawing for that amazing poker package for the ladies weekend at the Hippodrome in London. And I'm really hoping some ladies show up to get today to get some free tickets to get into the drawing. What a wasted opportunity if they don't. But I will also tell you that I'm not sure what the heck's going on with Facebook this morning, but I was trying to post some reminder posts, and lo and behold, figured out that my posts on the WPA site have not been getting posted. I actually have 7 posts in queues waiting to be posted. And so when I reached out to the folks there this morning, they're like, we don't even see your posts that are waiting. So something's going on there. I didn't get to put a reminder post this morning in that ladies group. I did, or the flip group. Not sure what's going on with Facebook, but thankfully Maureen did put it out in the Globetrotter ladies group. It was either late last night or early this morning. She's not in Switzerland, so different time zones. But anyway, it did get on her Facebook page, her Globetrotting page. So hopefully some ladies will show up and get some free tickets into the drawing. Like, hello, I'm trying to give you something, ladies. Come on now. Come and get it. And I definitely want to thank Carrie Jane, Craigie, and the Hippodrome Casino in London for giving us that opportunity to give away. That's going to be their ladies' weekend at the Hippodrome. That's October 16th through the 18th. And what a great opportunity for somebody to win a free ladies' seat and boot camp ticket. So there you go. I'm sorry. I just had a brain fart. I just wanted to point out that the player of the year, WSOP is aware that the tally for the player of the year competition has some math, math is hard, some math issues. They're counting some daily deep stacks at the WSOP into the of the year tally, which of course we all know that it should not be getting done. So they are working to correct that. I guess one guy or lady, I don't even know who it is, cashed like 5 or 6 daily deep stacks and is 6th in player of the year points. So there you go. So they are working on that just to let everybody know they are aware. So you don't have to tweet them or complain because they already are trying to figure it out.
I say something about that?
Yes, go right ahead.
So the guy that won back-to-back 10Ks saw that it was counting, entered in a daily deep stack after he made day 2 of the PLO, and a bunch of people were tweeting like, "Oh, he's in a daily for the love of the game," not knowing that he thought that they were counting for Player of the Year points, and it wasn't just because, oh yeah, I love playing so much.
Now that's funny. Trying to find that angle. Trying to find that angle, are we? Hey, kudos to him for saying, hey, this is a loophole I can get in on, right? I wonder how he finished up in that daily. Do you know?
I do not know. I just know I think it was Pads saw his cash or something. It was like, oh, for the love of the game, he's in a daily deep stack. And then he later tweeted like, hey, this guy has all these. Yeah, so he like brought it. He was one of the people who tweeted about accounting, and they were like, yeah, no, it doesn't.
Oh, the best laid plans sometimes get interrupted by human error, don't they? And you just have to laugh at it. But kudos to him, like seizing an opportunity. But unfortunately, it's not one that he could ride to the bank with, so to speak. So I don't know. Do you know who's in the lead for the Player of the Year right now?
I do not. I have not been keeping track. Sorry.
No, I haven't either, and I will look that up for tomorrow's show.
I would think Deeb, but don't quote me.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I honestly don't know. But we'll look at that for sure. Don't forget you can get a $100 parking pass at the general registration desk. If you're going to be parking at the Horseshoe or Paris, you can get a parking pass, $100 a week. I know it's terrible, but it is what it is. That is a discounted price from paying on a daily rate. So just an FYI, I say take that $100, put in a slot machine, earn the platinum level, and then go park for free. And of course, how many valet parkings can that be? If you give $2 for a tip, that's 50 valet parkings. But what do I know? I'll never understand why people fight the gate that don't open. But yeah, I'm the one that's not going to. Joey, tell us how to get a free download of your book, The Poker Dance.
Okay, we will put a link in the comments after my lesson, and you can only use it between now and Sunday at midnight, and then it will expire, and it wouldn't be no more. It'll go back to being a paid copy. So it's out there. Not too many people are doing it. It's just like, where's all the women? So.
Yeah, opportunities just going to the wayside. I'll never understand it. I will never understand how people can just let opportunities slide by. So, Joey's book, The Poker Dance, you can get a free download. He's going to put a link in the chat after he gives us our poker lesson for the day. So, don't miss the opportunity to download that, folks. Like, hello, 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 hello. Did you want to say something, Joe?
No, I was just thinking about Facebook. I had the same issue. So something was up with Facebook this morning, big time.
I'm going to tell you, I actually thought I got hacked. And I was like, oh my God, I do not have time to figure out a Facebook hacking right now. I literally thought I got hacked this morning and I was sort of in a panic because I do use it majorly for communication, not only in the poker world, but for my family. And so I was like, oh no, not today. Please, not today. But turns out it's an overall issue that they're working on or whatever. And so, yeah, just be aware, folks, that.
Right. And ditto, I thought I got hacked too. So now
Oh,
I make the mistake of going into the reset your password mode. And then they start sending you the codes. The code doesn't want to work. The page is,
God.
oh my God. So then I got it all fixed. And then all of a sudden I log into Messenger, logged me out. I was like, oh, what did I do here? I really thought I got hacked. I did too. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
because it kept telling me when I was trying to go in the messenger that I need to, what did it say? I need to get permission or give permission. I was like, permission for what? I just DM'd about 30 seconds ago and now I can't DM. Like, what do you mean permission? Like,
Yeah, I had the same exact error. So it must have been system wide. That's so funny.
oh my God, it was so frustrating because, of course, I was trying to put the reminder up for the space today to get the ladies to come on in here for their chance at tickets. And here we are. So, good thing we're going to do it next Friday as well. And guess what? If they don't want the tickets, so be it. They don't want the tickets. I mean, you can lead the horse, Joey. You could lead the horse.
Right? You know the saying.
Yeah, exactly. So I am going to turn it over to our poker coach of the summer. Joey Gargiulo has been teaching us all kinds of stuff this summer, and I'm looking forward to his lesson today. So take it away, Joey.
Thank you so much, Sherry. So today we're going to talk about short stack poker and how much it really, really requires clarity. And clarity for us as poker players starts with awareness of where we are on our journey. It doesn't it, right? So short stack poker is a lot different if it's level 2 versus if we're at a final table, if we're approaching the bubble, if it's after the bubble. Awareness where we are in our journey is really, really important. Awareness of our own intentions, isn't that important too? Because really, when it comes down to it, there are two solid paths that we could take when we play short stack poker. And I've been studying both of them for a very long time. And one is not better than the other. It's just two different paths. One of those paths is what GTO Solver says and what the mathematicians say and what a lot of pros say. And I even speak about it in the 30-Day Poker Coach. And that's the path where we really don't want to get so short where our shoves are not meaningful, if that makes sense. right? Because otherwise, people are just going to call us because they're getting the right price. Fold equity comes into play. So that's the traditional path, is to pick out spots, position awareness, right? That's another thing. Where are we? So everybody, if you're not familiar with it, a lot of pros would say you always either want to be the first one in the pot or the last one in the pot when you short stack. And you're not going to be the last one in the pot when you short stack unless you really, really have the nuts, a really premium hand. But when you're the first one into the pot, well, now fold equity comes into play, and there's a lot of scenarios, and we just, depending on where you're at in the table, especially if you're late position and nobody opened, your shoves have a very more likelihood of getting through. But on the flip side of the coin, the other path that we've all been down and we've all studied and we've watched many, many players very successful with this type of short stack play is just to milk the stack, the ride and die. Let's see where this goes. So now we go 10 bigs and nothing's happening. We go 7 bigs and nothing's happening. We're folding. But what's happening while we're folding? Other people are getting knocked out. I mean, the other day at the final table, we watched Chris Brewer ladder up like 200K by folding what literally, when he finally got it all in, he had 2 small blinds, basically. Okay? That's what he had. But he outlasted one more opponent by folding. So that path, I find, I don't know about you, Sherry, but I find the patience and wait and see, because we never know, like Jack Strauss, Tree Stop Strauss, chip in the chair kind of stuff, although he didn't even know he had that chip under the napkin, but it's the same thing. Just go down and see what happens. But a lot of pros would say, oh no, that's the worst thing you could do, is to blind out. And, it's interesting because there really is no right way. We know a lot of people have won tournaments because they rode their short stack out and doubled up and then doubled up again. And yet Solver says, no, that's not the way. Solver says, shove any ace. Then when you get even shorter, shove any king combo, like, especially in late position. It's really, really interesting. And I feel like short stack play needs to be studied more. Like, I would love, and if somebody knows of any books out there that are specifically written just about short stack play from the experts that have mastered these techniques, I would love to know about it. So in my 38 poker coach, this is just a traditional way. So short stack poker makes people uncomfortable because it takes away their toys, doesn't it? When we get shallow, especially in tournaments, there's less room for art, less room for deception, and a lot less room for denial. The game becomes more honest, doesn't it? And that's why it requires clarity. Many players handle shallow stacks poorly because they panic or procrastinate. See, it's like one end of the spectrum or the other. Some jam too wide in bad spots because they feel the pressure, and others wait too long, hoping something cleaner will come until they blind away into irrelevance. Yet, both methods we have seen be effective as well, right? It's such an intriguing part of poker. It really is. But when you are short, fold equity obviously becomes precious. You want to move while your stack can still pressure people. And once you get too low, you lose that leverage. Now your all-ins are no longer scary. It's just a price. And that could be a brutal downgrade. But, ego comes into play too, doesn't it, right? Some players hate short stack poker because it feels beneath them, if that makes sense. Because they like to play poker, they like to bluff, they like to outwit their opponents. And when you're short stack, you really don't have enough chips to really make any kind of moves. So psychologically, short stack poker, in my opinion, is the one part of poker that really can wear away at us more so than a bad beat, because a bad beat is just like once and done and it happens, whatever it was. Yeah, it hurts, but it's like ripping a band-aid off. But short stack poker is like a slow bleed, like a wound that is just won't heal, and it can really, really, really wear on us. And if I have to say, this could be my and yours strongest game or weakest game, depending on the situation, right? It's like we really, as a poker community, have not, I don't care what anybody says, we really have not solved short stack poker, have we? We might think we have. And everybody has their techniques that work, but just like anything else with science, the proof is in the ability to consistently repeat and get the same results. Yet nobody seems to be able to do that. It's very, very interesting. So this is more of an eye opener than a lesson, but in the same token, um, just a pat on your shoulders that when things do go sideways when you're short stack, you did nothing wrong, because nobody really, really has figured this out. So my best advice that I give as a coach is, if you think of a poker tournament as this slide from 100 plus big blinds all the way down to the 7 to 10 big blind range, because when you get to a final table, most players have 7 to 10 big blinds, don't they? Now, some of us, we take that slide a lot earlier in the tournament sometimes, but it doesn't mean we're out of it. It just means we have to start playing our final table game earlier than later. Whereas others, it's a much slower slide, and it's more comfortable. But I don't know about you. I'd rather have the more difficult road. I'd like the challenge. But regardless of that, the best advice I can give is that when we feel ourselves going short, that's the time to act. That's the time to reassess and say, I don't want to be in that jam. So right now I'm in that 20 to 25 big blind range. Now is the time to start playing my final table game so I don't get short. But otherwise, I would love to hear feedback, because I am still learning, and we as a poker community are still learning how to navigate short stack play. So what about you, Sherry? I know you're really good at short stack play, so I
I
would
am pretty.
love to hear what you do.
I do like to grind a nub, as I say. I like the challenge. I, of course, would rather not have a short stack, but I also get a kick out of, doing good things with, doing good things with a short stack. But as you were talking, I was also thinking about, GTO versus, just a person that doesn't study GTO like myself. And, you know, everything is about 10 blinds push, 10 blinds push, 10 blinds push, right? And I don't believe in that, because I actually made it to a final table once with 1,000 chip. Okay.
Mm,
And the chip leader had 300,000, okay, in chips.
mm.
And I took every single one of those chips from him and won the tournament.
See, you
And
just don't
so
know. Mhm.
I firmly believe that it is a chip in a chair, and it sucks to blind out sometimes. Yes, nobody wants to do that.
Mhm.
But there's a point in a tournament that you also have to like come to grips with. Okay, the chances of me winning this tournament are not very good, but that doesn't mean I can't win more money
Mhm.
by sitting
Exactly.
sitting on this stack and leveling up. So, those 10 big blinds are a little more important than you may think they are if you're in the money and just trying to level up, and you just sit on those 10 big blinds and try to hopefully grab some big, some blinds every um, orbit or two, so that you can stay at least at the 10 blind level, right, in your chip stack. And
Right.
so then the focus for me turns to, okay, I got to try to level up. Right now the chip leader has 45 million and I have like 30,000, right? Or I'm just exaggerating, but you guys get the point. And so right now it's just about leveling up more so than winning the tournament. So there's different ways to look at it. I don't think it's a cut and dry answer anytime at all at a poker table because it depends on the situation you're in at that moment in time. And what's happening in that moment of time may not be the same thing the next time or the third time or the fourth time. So to me, you got to base it on what's happening in the moment and what's the best plan of action in the moment. You have all those tools in your tool chest of this is what I should do at 10 big blinds, or, how am I leveling up, whatever. You have all that information in your tool chest. It's now you got to apply which one is correct, right? Which one is
Right.
correct. So that's where I'm at with that. Go ahead, ASG.
Yeah. So, and I think it's important, especially when you're talking about Ted blinds shove, that even the solvers, the pros, whatever, you know, they'll tell you, and which is why people call uh, final table play often so boring, is because when you get to the final table, especially, then you're dealing with ICM play more than you're dealing with um, like what you would do if it was during registration. So, like when you're talking about, you know, so what you do with your blinds is different what you do during registration versus on the bubble versus once that bubble popped versus when you're nearing pay jumps. So that all comes into play. Uh,
Exactly my
yeah.
point. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. And I see we have an old friend amongst us. What are you doing, software, Brian?
Oh, just hanging out, Sherry. What's up, guys?
I'm glad you are. I'm going to give you the stage and we're going to come right back to Joey because, in all likelihood, software is trying to get out the door to go play a tournament. Are you in Vegas?
I came home for one day and I'm on my way back. So we'll
All
see.
right. What are you going to play next?
Well, that depends. My wife, uh, my wife might have thrown a wrench into things. She decided to come up this weekend, so I'm not sure. I'm either gonna play the Colossus Saturday, or I think what's Sunday, the eight max or something. I think.
I don't know off the top of my
Anyway,
head.
I
Try.
think
Yeah.
I think eight max is after that. So
Okay.
probably the eight max. Just take the weekend off until Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Without mentioning the name, because we keep it highly top secret. But Brian's the one that turned me on to my favorite Japanese restaurant without mentioning the name, Brian. Did you know that it's closed right now because a car
It's
crashed through the window?
Yeah, you sent me the pictures of the car crash.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well,
And
Joey went there the other day to check on it and it's just boarded up now.
yeah, they tell me still some time before they open. I think let me
Oh,
look what they told me. I can tell you exactly.
oh, please. Because I'm wondering if they're even going to open again.
Um yeah, they just said we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
got.
it.
I see you, exec deck. Exec deck has gone there with me too. We're all like biting at the bit to go back there, and unfortunately, it's all boarded up. But hopefully, they will figure out a new location or get that location reopened or whatever. Maybe by the time we get there in December for the WPT.
You know,
Um,
Sherry,
Go ahead.
I should know better. Like every year, Cabral or somebody decides to beat up on a woman at the table, and I post, and then
She took care of business though.
and,
She wasn't afraid of
and then
him.
I inevitably get back the that's the way to put soft into software, Brian, or whatever stupid things. They're like, oh, you just can't play, can't hack it. It's like, no, bullshit. I go there to have a good time. I'm fully fine. By the way, like Martin and I sit at the same table, or I've had plenty of people that I sit there and talk all kinds of trash to, but when somebody isn't being a uh mutual combatant. I don't think she was at the beginning, right? Like, I don't know. Like,
Right.
just the clip I saw.
Well, and we don't know what took place for the hour or 2 hours, 3 hours before that clip, right?
Yeah, I
But
just
she,
saw a clip
she
of
put
him
him in
just
his
being an
place.
asshole to somebody who wasn't really participating in being an asshole. So, like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I'm fully fine with it, but it's kind of my problem. Like, if I'm not in the mood for it, like, leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, and I'm going to tell you, I have played poker with Brian, and both of us like to talk shit at the table. I
yeah,
mean, we do, but there's a difference between it being reciprocated and it like the person like trying to ignore you. So you're like, oh, they're not into it. So I'll just back off and you just leave them alone. Like it's okay, no problem. But yeah, he was going after Chris CB pretty good. And, she stood up for herself. Nobody, I mean, she did. She handled business and kudos to her. But, why should she have to? Like, why should she be put in the position that now she's got to stoop to his level to put him in his place? And that's probably the most disappointing part for me is why should she have to be put in that position? It's bullshit. So if you haven't seen it, Cabral you know, is rooting against Chrissy in a hand, and she goes out in the hand, and then he asks her for a loser interview on camera. There's a camera there. Would you do like a loser interview? And of course, she's like, you rooted against me. No, I'm not going to do an interview. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's not what she said, but you got the gist. But yeah. All right. I'm going to go back to Joey for a minute. Joey, did you have anything else that you wanted to reiterate about your lesson, buddy?
No, and I love the affirmations from everybody that it's the same thing. It's because how I started it is about clarity. Like there's no right answer because there's 1,000 different scenarios, variables that can create your scenario, and where you are on a journey, where you're on a table, what's going, how you're. Do you have passive players at your table? Do you have aggressive players at your table? So it's just one of those things where we all have to just figure out for ourselves what we feel comfortable with. But the one advice I can say, whatever game plan that you implement in those situations, do it with confidence. Do it with meaning. Don't do a half-ass all in. Do one that, puts the little fear under people. Like, I dare you to call me, right? Because
Right on.
the confidence is really important. You can't be, the worst thing we could do is be indecisive because then we just bleed chips away.
Totally agree. And Software Brian, you're shown as a listener. So if you want to come back up, request is the easiest way to do it. With Twitter, it's just easier if you request than me send a microphone. Don't know why but that's where we're at right now. I see Tracy in the audience. Give me a thumbs up if you're here for the tickets giveaway, because then I'll explain it all. Do you want to get in the tickets giveaway for London? Are you going to London? Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. I don't want her to miss the opportunity if that's one of the reasons she's here and she's joined us all summer. So definitely want to outline that if I need to. And maybe she's busy right now and can't give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. So no worries. Thumbs up. You are here for the tickets? In that case, I'm going to explain it. Okay. So I need anybody that's here for the tickets, of course, ladies, and you have to be going to London for the ladies' weekend, October 16th through the 18th. It's non-transferable. So this is what I need you to do if you want a chance to win that poker package from the Hippodrome is retweet this space out tagging 3 friends. And then at 2 different times, I'm going to take a screenshot of the space. And if you're in it, then you're going to get a ticket for each one of those pictures you're in. So you get a ticket for retweeting it and tagging 3 people. You'll get a ticket for being in each of the pictures I take of the space randomly as we visit here this morning. So there you go. That's what you need to do to get 3 tickets into the drawing for the Hippodrome poker package. Pretty simple. All right, software, you're back up here with us. And Joey, before we get off track again, tell us again how to get your copy of your poker dance for free, please.
Yes, I'm going to put a link right now in the comments. Just click on it. It goes to Amazon. You do not need a Kindle device. So it's on Kindle, but all that means is a free Amazon app that doesn't cost anything, no subscriptions, and you could download it. And all I ask is, if you love it, you hate it, I don't care. Please write a review, because the way the algorithms work, the books that have the most reviews, they tend to show up more in searches and stuff, regardless of how many stars. It just has to do with volume. And I wish for every 5 people that have sent me a message about how much they enjoyed the book, at least one of them, please put a please some kind of review. And that's all I ask. Thank you.
Well, and that's a simple ask for sure. Do you want to tell us what your poker lesson is tomorrow?
Sure. We're going to talk about how confidence is quiet.
Nice. I like it. Well, thank you for today's lessons. I really appreciate it.
Mhm.
Appreciate it. What are you playing today?
Nothing. Just chilling, hanging out.
Nice.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice. Nice. All right, you guys, let's move on to some other things. I put up a poll the other day about the WPT Gold billboard on Las Vegas Boulevard and whether or not you think the billboard is a troll of the WSOP or not. There were 18 votes. Come on, lazy bums. 18 votes, 67% said yes, they thought it was a troll. 17% said no, and 16% just wanted to see the results of the poll, which I think is so funny. ASG, you have any comments about that? Oh, he's at his desk, so I'm sure he's working. So he'll get back to us if he wants.
What was the billboard, Sherry? I didn't see the billboard yet.
Okay, so I have it in a tweet on my page, but the billboard was a young lady sitting on the toilet with poker chips like all stacked up all around her, and she's there because the ad that the WPT Gold has been putting out for months is that they're chip dumping. And if you think about it, what happened last summer? They chip dumped at the final table so they could win the extra whatever from WPT Gold Challenge, right? And
Right.
so the billboard is her taking a dump. I mean, it's right on that corner by the Aria, that huge billboard by the Aria, light up billboard by the Aria.
Yeah.
And so we took a poll because I think it's a troll. I think it's all connected to last summer, and some other folks do not. So I thought, okay, let's just take a poll and see what people think. What do you think about the patch police patrolling the streets of the WSOP? Several WPT logo wearing players have been made to tape over their logos or put the item like a hat in their book bag. What do you think about that, Brian?
Like it's their business to run and to allow whatever they want or don't want. I mean, the obviously there's a little bit wrong with the fact that poker players pay for the prize money and all of this stuff. If they're going to be using if they're going to be putting money into the prize pools and stuff like that, then great. So I can see some people's arguments on that. And back in the day, there was obviously way more opportunity for I mean, look, in the main event, if he drew day one feature table, it was 10K for wearing a patch. Like that kind of money isn't really around anymore. I will say
Mhm.
that if like, even if you don't like, I probably wouldn't wear any of my company's patches anyway. But you know, if you might, you should just send them in, because
The
Right.
last thing you want to be thinking about at a final table is whether you got approval for a patch or not. So
Yeah, you definitely want to do that ahead of time. What do you think, Joey? What do you think about the patch police?
Um, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If they didn't do it, then who would take the whole patch approval process seriously? So I had a hunch they were going to do this, and I figured they were going to start with just the live stream players first, but
Right.
and which, from what I understand, they did. But now they've expanded it because we have a whole new batch of players in town, and a lot of people are just ignoring it, and I even I saw a couple of people I knew in the hallways that were on their way to a tournament, and one of them was wearing a WPT jacket with the patch. I'm like, dude, you can't wear that. It's not approved. And he's like, I don't care what they're gonna do to me, And multiply that by 700 people that have
Right.
unapproved patches. So I get it. It's if they're gonna have a rule, it has to be enforced.
Right.
It's what I mean. It is what it is. Maybe we don't agree with the rule, but it is a rule. So go ahead and enforce it. Why not?
Right. And I think you're on the right track when you say if they don't, then nobody's going to adhere to the rule because there's no consequences. So,
Mhm.
and, we all know why the rule is put in place. And, you know, there are some companies taking some, side bullets from it. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it's the right thing to do or not overall, because now this opens up the can of worms for when, somebody goes to a WPT tournament. Now, are they going to ban the WSOP patches or, it just opens a whole another can of worms. And in between all of that are the players are stuck, right? It's stuck between all of it, right? And so,
100%, yeah. And
yeah.
and I was thinking the same thing, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to. I don't think WPT would do it, but they could. You never know, right? They could ban Club GG patches.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yep.
and that's the road that's the can of worms you opened by doing it.
Yep.
I understand why they did it. I don't blame them for doing it after what happened last summer. But at the same token, I'm like, wow, this is a can of worms that I don't know if we want to open. Go ahead, ASG.
Can you hear me? I had switched.
Y- yes.
Okay, sorry, I switched microphones. Uh, so yeah, when you were asking me, as I said, I thought it was a troll that they put up the billboard in general. I just didn't think it was a specific thing about chip dumping. I think that was just like the way they phrased their promotions. But anyway, when it comes to this though, I agree with, I guess, them doing whatever they want. I think it's excessive when it came to, I saw somebody tweeted that some rec had a WPT book bag and they made them tape that up. And, they're not on a feature stream or anything. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know,
Yeah, but they did say that they were going to do it, not just on the stream tables, but throughout the
yeah, but I'm
whole.
talking
I mean,
about a
they
bag
said
though,
that.
not even like your shirt. Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
got
I
to be
think the
fair.
thing, ASG. I think the thing is that I was thinking about this as Joey was talking. Like as we go through the series, everybody gets used to what's going on, and then the main event's a completely different thing. When you get to the main event, obviously it's not, just the stream players that are being necessarily shown on TV and stuff like that. A book bag is kind of probably pretty
Well,
excessive,
look. The
but
people that have been stopped are those that have water bottles had to be taped up. A backpack had to have tape put over it. A hat had to have tape put over it or put in the backpack and not worn. So, I mean, it's any logo anywhere around.
it's kind of
Now,
silly before the main event.
yeah.
But I get the idea that you don't probably want to wait till the main event to start.
Well, and part of it is, guess what? If we do it now, the word will get out so that we don't have 11,000 people in the main event coming, even a third of them with WPT patches on. So
Exactly.
I think they're trying to curtail it before it gets to the um, main event time. But anyway, I just can't believe we're here. Like, I can't believe this is where we've ended up with this whole thing, honest to God. Just a reminder, everybody, I am doing a contest right now for some ACR tickets, and it's guess the pictures. And I have two like posters of pictures of people when they were babies or in their childhood, and you have to guess who they are. And you have to submit your list to me by Monday at noon. And we will announce the winners. I think I said on the 16th or 17th, whatever it says on the post. And I appreciate Katie Lindsey and ACR for the tickets to give away for prizes. First place is a $22 ticket. Second place is a $16.50 ticket. And third place is an $11 ticket. So don't miss this opportunity, people. I'm going to tell you, if you want me to continue to do stuff like this, then we got to take advantage of it, or I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just telling you. And this part of it is a little aggravation over this ladies thing, but we're going to turn that around as soon as Facebook gets their act together and we can get some posts out, because advertisement is the key. Okay, let's talk about that $100,000 high roller and Cabrillo, Severall, and Foxen and Katz and whoever else was at that table arguing over scanning the cards. When are we supposed to scan the cards? Is there a rule? Anybody know of a rule? I looked it up today in the TDI. I didn't see nothing. I've tweeted some of the powers that be. Of course, it's early, so they haven't got back to me. But, is there a rule? Do we have to scan our cards into the reader when the cards are dealt, in the middle of the hand, when the hand's over? What are your thoughts?
So my understanding is that it cannot be enforced. And I've seen, I think you have too, a few final tables where there was always one holdout that never wanted to scan his cards because he was a little cautious and worried about cheating and, people intercepting and yada, yada, yada. So I remember checking, and I don't remember any rule in TDA saying that you have to scan your cards.
Yeah, and I checked this morning and I didn't see, and what I think was for me even more interesting is that table where all of those players were standing in solidarity against Cabral and saying he can, Several can just scan them after the hand is over, like at the end of the hand. But we also have to think of the dealer. The dealer reminds people to scan your hands, and as the hand's ending, she's going to be, or he is going to be divvying out the chips, trying to get the cards in to start the new shuffle, blah, 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 blah. And, I think there's going to be a very good chance that dealer forgets to remind somebody to scan those cards in. So I see it as a Cabral issue more so than a scan the cards issue. Go ahead, ASG.
Okay. So I don't recall, and you'll definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember any real rules in the TDA that talk about anything regarding a stream table versus any other table. So, so that's why I wonder, like, who and what would cover scan cards, whether that would be some other kind of policy, because as I said, I don't really remember any rules about, like, if you're at a stream table, you need to do this. I do remember, however, like, way back in the day, there were certain players that really didn't want their cards,
right,
people to know their cards ever. And, they were eventually told, no, you can't do that. And, like, I know at some point, we couldn't really hear the floor's ruling, but it was always my understanding, due to the stream and people wanting to see the cards before the hand, that you were, whether or not it's Martin, the one that's complaining about it, that when the floor ruled, that the ruling in my at least my thought was always that they, due to production and everything else, that they wanted you to scan your cards beforehand.
Okay, so I did look at the TDA rules this morning, and there is definitely nothing in there pertaining to this subject matter, but I wonder what the WSOP rules are. And quite honestly, I didn't have time to try to find a copy of those this morning because, I'm just busy. But I did tweet out, so maybe we'll get some answers from, Jeff or Kevin or somebody, Matt Savage, because I actually asked him if we needed to add it to the agenda for the TDA meeting. But I also tweeted out to the WSOP asking, do you, what's the rules? Like, are there any rules, like in their rule book? Because they do a few things differently than the TDA rule book because they're house rules. And so they may have a section in their rule book pertaining to live feed tables and what is expected. And the reason why I believe that there is because if you remember correctly, in Paradise, when somebody wanted to wear something that was politically motivated, pertaining to different countries in the world, there was a big hoopla, and that it stated in the rules that the WSOP has the right to tell you, yes, you can wear that on the live stream or not. So we know there is a section of rules. I just didn't know if this rule is covered in there. So, or if there's a rule covering this, I should say. So we shall see. I'm going to do a little research on that. Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, so I know exactly where it would be, and it would be on the release that you sign before you sit down, because there are terms and conditions on the release. So if at WSOP is smart, somewhere in those terms and conditions about being on a feature table is that you have to cooperate with production to make to make it a
Right.
show. Otherwise, you're never
Right.
going to be invited on a live stream.
Right. And you're right. It is definitely going to be on that piece of paper, but I also believe it's going to be in the rule book. If this is addressed, it'll also be in the rule book. Go ahead, ASG.
What I thought was also interesting was even with the 2-3 hour delay or whatever it is, and Korea and production and all of that, it seemed like they still couldn't see you still couldn't see the cards if they didn't scan them early.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, the new owners need to really reevaluate about having production over in South Korea with this huge event in Las Vegas. They may want to rethink that whole thing for next year, but what do I know? Yeah, I don't know. I have nothing to say on that topic. Anybody else? I have nothing to say on that. Sorry, y'all. Honestly, every time I go to look at the live feed, I'm hoping to see something in particular, and it's never on there. So, like, I wanted to see Kessler's table. Nope. So, anyway, and of course, I'm East Coast time. So, everything's going on Vegas time. It's late. I'm going to sleep. I'm exhausted. So, anyway, software, any more on that? Software, are you still with us? Is he shown as a speaker for you guys? Anybody?
I can never see who's speaker besides like the person who, like, I only see speakers that were here before I joined. I never see any speakers after I become
It's
speaker.
crazy. It's crazy. And people must think I'm crazy when I'm asking these questions like I'm talking to a ghost, but that's kind of how it feels sometimes. You start talking to someone and you're like, well, maybe they maybe the IT's, goofed up and they're gone. They still show here because we've had that happen. I mean, there's lots of variables to the combination, but we will continue on. If he has something to say, he can certainly let me know. What do you guys think of Mike Holtz's acceptance speech at his WSOP bracelet ceremony? Mike Holtz, of course, won a bracelet, his second one, and he's kind of been trolling Maurice Hawkins. Anybody got any comments about Mike's?
I would be surprised if he didn't do that speech.
Wait, say that again. You would be surprised.
I said I
If
would
he
have been.
didn't.
Yeah, pure Mike.
Oh, I tell you, he definitely has a bone to pick, and he ain't letting it go. That's for sure. Joey, you have any comments about it?
I do not, but I did have an answer to what we were just talking about. It on the WSOP rules.
Please.
Rule number 25: participants at a televised or live stream table must show their whole cards, have them scanned. It's there.
But it doesn't say when.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Well, that'll be in next year's rules, won't it? Right?
Right? It doesn't say at the beginning of every hand, the player has to make sure that they scan their whole cards, right? And
Right.
that's what the argument is.
Yeah. Well, next
Yeah, they
year.
should scan it after. That should be really the practice. There's
Well,
no reason if they're delaying it by 2 hours, an extra few minutes. I mean, they aren't even sending that footage yet, so
yeah, but
just
here's the thing,
delay
and
it.
that's an argument to do it at the beginning. Because nobody can cheat because there's 2 hour delay before it's getting live.
No,
So
but
that to me is an argument to do it on the front end.
No, but if you scan it at the beginning, there's always the chance that data has already been sent somewhere. And if it's been intercepted by somebody that you're
Got it.
playing with,
Got it.
if you don't send the data, the data isn't there until after the hand,
Got it. Got it.
which
Point made. Thank
which
you.
is the way it should be done. And probably this conversation is going to result in people doing it that way going forward, I think. Because even the live streams, like why not delay the live streams by a little bit so that
Right.
you can do that, whatever you don't have to do 2 hours, but the half hour delay or whatever. Does it really matter? Do you know, like, the people at Hustler, whether it's happening now or not? I mean, I don't know.
And we don't really care. We don't want it necessarily 2 hours because 2 hours seems a bit extravagant, but I don't think anybody's against a half an hour for the integrity of the game and for, an anti-cheating thing. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think anybody would disagree. Go ahead, ASG.
Also, just want to throw in here, like, I'm not aware of what the person was referring to, but it seemed weird when somebody was like, well, what if somebody had been, so they were having this whole discussion with the floor, and the floor says you got to scan before this and that, and then one of the players says, well, what if one of the players has been banned for cheating previously? And I don't know what they were referring to, but I also, like, why would that change the rules? And that should change the player's eligibility to play to begin with, not like change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. To me, they were just using that to plead their case as to why they weren't in agreement to scan it at the beginning of the hand. They were just like, you know, A, we're okay with it as a group that we're going to scan them at the end of the hand. And B, what if there's a known cheater at the table and we're just trying to protect ourselves, which is a valid point. I mean, it is a valid point, although that doesn't matter in the big scheme of things, right? Because now we've read the rule and the rule does not even state when that has to be
Yeah,
done.
and as we
So
discussed with the fourth burn, like, the whole table agreeing doesn't mean anything either. So
that's right. Exactly. And in this case, it doesn't either. But but I get their point, and I kind of admire them standing up and saying, no, we've had enough and we're going to put a stop to this. And I applaud that as well because they see a problem. They're actually trying to fix the problem. Um, and I applaud them for that. And guess what? We're going to have a rule change. I guarantee you. I guarantee you by this time next year, we'll all be going, oh, yeah, they don't have to scan it till the end of the hand because it is an issue. And we're all worried about the new technologies and cheating, glasses, a ring with a camera, whatever. Now, this is one way to combat that, right? The delay is a way. Scanning the cards at the end of the hand is a way. So, those are all things that are going to have a positive effect against cheating. Go ahead, ASG.
okay, at least as far as the WSOP, I'll tell you what, Sherry. I got $5 to say that the rule is going to change, saying you have to scan it before to help production, and you can say the other way. And if the rule doesn't change at all, no bet. How about that?
Oh, I'm just going to tell you that for me personally, I prefer scanning at the beginning of the hand. Um, for me personally, because I think about the deal, I'm thinking of the totality of everything, and for the dealer's sake, and yeah, I would prefer it at the beginning of the hand. But if we're talking about doing things for anti-cheating, improving that topic, then yes, it has to be at the end of the hand. So we'll see what our goals are when they figure out the rule they're going to put into
production
place.
is going to take rule over cheating.
And guess what? I don't disagree. And as you said, production. They're worried about quality of production. And of course, the production is better when the people at home can see the cards. Go ahead, Joey.
So this is something that Tracy and I forgot to bring up, but we learned about it when we were at South Point. So South Point seems to be the first casino that will be adopting the European dealing by sliding the cards. And all of the dealers are practicing because Tracy might remember because she spoke to some of the dealers when they're going to start doing it. But they are 100% converting all of their dealers over to the slide deal.
I'm sorry, what casino?
That's South Point.
Yes. I love that. And kudos to South Point. I love that poker room. I'm going to tell you. They really try to do things right and do things well for the players. Slide dealing. I love it. I love it. And is it hard to retrain everybody? Yes. We're not saying, it's going to happen overnight, but we have to start somewhere. So kudos to South Point slide dealing. I like it. I absolutely like it. Okay, any more talk on that topic, y'all? I want to give a little shout out to Bling Thing. No, Bling Ting. I always want to put an H in there. Thank you for buying some raffle tickets for the quilt. I appreciate you. Again, the QR code's up in my top picture on my Twitter account if you want to make a donation. We're going to be giving it away on the 27th of June when I'm in Vegas. We're going to do a live feed on a space and do the drawing and give it away on Saturday. So get your tickets, folks. I can't wait to hand somebody that quilt or ship it to them or whatever. I'm excited about it. Very excited. So thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Next topic at hand. Tyler Brown tweeted that he came back from break and his stack was short 25,000 from the color up. And I'm paraphrasing his question in the tweet, what am I even supposed to do to prevent this? They said nothing about coloring me up prior to the break. Otherwise, I would have stayed and watched. Well, first of all, it's nobody's job to tell you when they're going to color you up. I always ask. I always say, hey, are you coloring up this break? I always ask. That's my responsibility. And obviously, he hasn't been listening to me for 3 years, 4 summers now. And guess what? Where's your picture of your chip stack? Did you take one before you left the table? Did you take one of the table number before you left the table? Those things can help you prove your point that you're short 25,000. And I'm going to tell you something. Not only do I take a picture of my stacks, but I spread them out so you can definitely tell that they're a stack of 20 or a stack, or maybe I only have 5 of this color or whatever. I kind of spread it out so there's no question as to the number of chips that I have. Go ahead, ASG.
You then added a reply saying, zero recourse to cameras don't work, pictures don't matter. Just have to trust the staff to handle your chips while you're completely on. And I have heard this too in previous years where they don't care about your pictures. They'll say, like, how do we know that that picture was your stack on break and not from a hand or 2 hands prior? Like, basically, and yeah, they won't accept the picture as proof.
Well, and I think, that is something I would just run up the chain. I would be like, get your boss, because my picture has a timestamp and our table has a pad now, a iPad right now that shows when we went on break. And you can look at my picture and the timestamp of when I took that picture and match it up to your little iPad that tells us when we went on a break. So let me tell you, I'm running it up the chain. Where's Jack? Jack Eiffel, where are you? I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm just going to tell you, if my stack is short and I have a picture timestamp, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Software, you got any comments on that?
Yeah. I was going to say that that you don't need a picture of your table number anymore either, Sherry, because you're in the app. It tells you where to go.
This is true.
So that's been like big stress reliever because I always
Well,
used
I'm
to be
just going to
like,
tell you, I'm
I'm
still
gonna
going to take a
forget.
picture of my table because if something changes around while I'm on break, I still have my picture of my table number.
Yeah.
So that's just
And
me.
then the other thing too is that I forgot what I was gonna say. You were saying that oh I if it's a color up break, like in the situation that you're saying where you weren't the person being colored up necessarily, like I'll sit there if I'm the one like coloring up all the chips and they're gonna come over and mess with my stack. I sit there until they come, and all the time they're like, "Sir, you need to leave the area." I'm like, "I'm not leaving the area until you've done my stack. Nobody touches my stack without me here."
100%.
So, you know, I don't know within the rules, like if you have the right to do that. I always say I have the right to do that. It makes sense that I have the right to do that. Like, I think they shouldn't be touching your chips unless, um,
You're present.
unless you're present. Or it's fine in that situation, right? Where, you know, like you knew that they were going to touch your chips, like that kind of thing. But on the other side of that, I think when we were at the TDA, I brought this up last time, Sherry, and they were just like, yeah, that's just not possible. So, potentially logistically, you're sitting there and you know, you may get not you may not know that you're going to get colored up and have that situation happen, and maybe that's just the way things work, but like in general, like that's I think you have the right to sit there. um
Well, and this is what I've done, especially if they're using my chip stack. They'll be like, you have to leave the area. And I'm like, well, you're using my chip stack. So I will leave as soon as
yeah.
you're done, but I will stand up away from the table and just watch you from afar. I have no problem with that, but I am going to stand and watch while my chips are being handled. And that goes for any chip up too. If they're chipping up, I stand by the table near it. I don't stay seated. I get up and I just take a couple of steps back and I watch them chip my chips up. And then once they're done, I leave. But you also have to be proactive, is another point I want to make. Like nobody's going to announce to you that they're chipping up this break. Like you, if it concerns you and you want to protect your chip stack from mistakes, every time there's a break, not the first break, because you know they're not coloring up then, but you know what I mean. Ask. There's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, are you guys coloring up this break?" And then okay, no, okay, I can beat it. Or yes, they are. Okay, I got to stick around.
But
But it's also your responsibility.
don't you think, Sherry, that usually, like, so if you're the person that's coloring up everybody at the table, you've got a massive amount of chips there that they're dealing with and they're moving things back and forth. It feels like like the occasional thing that happens, right, is that person doesn't have enough to buy up all the big chips that they want. So then they go to
Right.
another person who had no idea. That second person probably is not, I mean, that second person isn't dealing with all the little tiny chips, and so it just feels like that second person, it's probably a little less likely that they screw up, you know.
Yeah, I'm just watching whether my chip stack is
No, I
being
want
used or not.
to.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm standing around to watch because you're touching my stack to chip me up or whatever. Go ahead, Joey.
So, so this is all cut and dry when we know when there's scheduled color ups.
All right.
But like a good example is, and deep in a tournament, when they start introducing 100K chips, they'll
Yep.
just walk around randomly during the break into all the big
Matt
stacks and buy
Savage.
up their
Yep.
chips. It's not a scheduled color up. It's just this is what they're doing, right? So you
Right.
never know. You never know.
This is correct. That's why if you take a picture every time you leave the table, you at least have something to use in your own defense. So That's where I'm at with that, you guys, for sure. Any more comments on that before we move along?
Notice how you never hear anybody complaining that they got too many chips, though, Sherry.
This is true. No arguments there. For sure, no arguments there. Okay, let's talk about the Poker Hall of Fame in just a moment. I want to announce a few winners around town. The Aria had Clark Rowe win the $800 no limit tournament. On June the 10th, there were 304 entries, and he took home $36,000 from that Aria Poker Classic tournament. Over at South Point, Billy took down the three-way chop, the 6 p.m. deep stack for $4,000. Be reminded, South Point never puts the last name of the players on their tweets. Over at the Win, Kenneth Fishman took down the 5K seniors event for $67,000. Poker is definitely not dead yet, people. Okay, let's talk about what used to be a favorite topic of mine that has me with sour lemons from last year. And without getting too deep in the weeds, and it's going to be hard for me because I'm emotional about it. First of all, I want to say that the Poker Hall of Fame, to me, or maybe we need to work on it some more. I don't even know. But it should be the most prestigious award given in the world of poker, to be honored, to be inducted to the Poker Hall of Fame. I don't think we're doing enough with the Poker Hall of Fame. To me, if you've been to the Poker Hall of Fame poker room at the Horseshoe, you'll know what I'm talking about. Right now, the only way you know there is a Poker Hall of Fame is when we talk about it in June, or if you go to the Horseshoes poker room and you walk past what I call the Employee of the Month wall. Because if you're not a poker player, or even if you are a poker player, when you walk past this wall of photos into the poker room, there's a good chance you're going to think, oh, look at all those employees of the month. Man, they've been doing that award for decades. But then if you stop for a moment and look, you're going to realize that that wall contains the photos of those that have been inducted to the Poker Hall of Fame. Well, I want people to recognize that. I want it to be more recognizable than a wall of, like an Employee of the Month wall. I think we can do better. You guys have heard me say it so many times that I want a standalone Hall of Fame museum, and we take away the control of the Hall of Fame from a business that is affected by that Hall of Fame and what goes on with that Hall of Fame. It needs to be its own identity, its own 501 or 503C. It needs to be a charity. Why? Because then we could raise funds to keep the museum going. Maybe have inductees, paraphernalia, so to speak, on loan to the museum for a year. And then right before every WSOP, we switch out that exhibit to new exhibits of Hall of Fame members. And we get to see their trophies and their bracelets and whatever else, newspapers, whatever else commemorated their career in poker. So I have a big vision. And I hope before I die, that vision comes to life. I may not get to help with it, but I'm surely going to fight for it. Now, I'm going to tell you that they opened the porthole so you can make a nominee or nominees for the Poker Hall of Fame for this summer. I have a sour taste from last year because of they bypassed all the rules to induct somebody. They don't call me the sheriff for no reason. I like the rules. And so this year, nominations are now open for determining the 2026 Poker Hall of Fame inductee. Nominations will be accepted online, and fans are encouraged to participate by submitting their nominee along with a brief explanation. All submissions will be tabulated, and the top 8 nominee nations will be reviewed by the Poker Hall of Fame Governing Council. The existing Poker Hall of Fame members will then cast votes of the final list of nominees to determine the 2026 member. The enshrinement ceremony will be held in concert with the final table of the main event at the WSOP held in Las Vegas. Notice it said member, meaning one inductee. So the rules have not been changed this year to induct more than one person, which I don't know a person alive that doesn't think it needs to be more than one nominee. The main criteria for the Poker Hall of Fame are as follows. The nomination period is June 11th through June 20th. Defining legacy. Respected by peers, a player must have played poker against acknowledged top competition. Age of experience. Be a minimum of 40 years old at the time of nomination. High stakes experience. Played the high stakes. Consistent excellence. Played consistently well, gaining the respect of peers. Played for high stakes. I'm sorry. Let me read that again. Played consistently well, gaining the respect of peers, played for high stakes. Consistent excellence. Played consistently well, gaining the respect of peers. Legacy that lasts. Stood the test of time. Shaped the game, or for non-players, contributed to the overall growth and success of the game of poker with indelible, positive, and lasting results. Well, as long as you're only inducting one, nobody's ever going to get that last. No one's ever going to be nominated for that last one because there's a million reasons why people think they're entitled, or they think certain people should be inducted the first year they're eligible. Like it's not, you're not entitled because you turned 40, all of a sudden you should be inducted. No, it's crazy that people think that, but they do. So anyway, make your nominations. Joe, do you have anything, comments on that?
I do actually. So
Perfect.
last week I'm sitting at a table in a WSOP, and there's a gentleman wearing a patch that says the Poker Museum. So I'm like, what's that? And he says, I created, his name was David. He said, I created a nonprofit. We're raising funds and we want to build a poker museum here in Vegas. And they actually have a website, the pokermuseumlv.com. No affiliation to any entity, but it's somebody has at least that vision that we need to, like he basically said, and I looked on the website and it says it there too, poker history is everywhere, yet there's no place we can go to visit it, right?
Well, somebody's running with my idea. I love it.
Yes. So
I
if it takes
love
off, it
it.
takes off.
Let's
I want to
hope
see
it
some
gets the
watches.
support it needs from the bigwigs, as they
Yeah.
say.
And the plan is to start out with just pop-up exhibits, and then eventually
Love it.
build a brick and mortar. How does Las Vegas not have a poker museum? Right?
Well,
It doesn't make any sense.
let me just tell you, Joey,
Mm.
this is my 4th year chirping on the subject. My 4th year saying we need to take it out of the hands that it's in now so that it could be a neutral governing body that has no vested interest in any results that happen or don't happen. And that's the only way to ensure the integrity of what's going on. Go ahead, ASG.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting before, but yeah, I want to see some watches. You know, I keep hearing before there was bracelets, there was watches. I want to see some watches.
Wait, Joey, did you understand what he said?
No, it's like the other day, SG, you're breaking up.
ASG, say it again, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I said I want to see some watches. I heard there was before there was bracelets, there was watches. So I want to see some watches.
Oh, you want to see the watches. So hopefully there's an exhibit from one of the players that want a watch, is what you're getting at. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, I'm glad somebody's running with my idea. That's for sure. I certainly have talked to a couple of very wealthy gentlemen in hopes that One of them runs with the idea. It's not this gentleman that his, because neither of them are a David, but guess what? Maybe they'll get enough momentum where the two that I've spoke to about it will jump on board. I love it. Okay, I'm going to talk about the giveaway for the ladies because I see we have a newbie in our audience. I think it's Eve. Hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You'll come to know I don't pronounce names well, and I'm sorry. It's just a mental block for me. But I want to go over, in case you're here, for the giveaway to the Hippodrome Ladies Weekend. This is what you need to do. You need to retweet this space and tag 3 people. And then you just have to appear in one of the 2 photos I take of the space. And they'll be just randomly taken. I've already taken one. And the next one will just be randomly taken from now until the time I end the space. And if you're in that picture, that'll get you 1 ticket. If you retweet, that'll get you another ticket. And because I've already taken a picture, you won't be eligible for that ticket, 3rd ticket. So, and I kind of gave it away, didn't I? But I want people to understand how this works, especially because there are some newbies to spaces and have never, been involved with one of the giveaways that I do here in spaces. So, that's where you're at. Retweet the space, tag 3 people. And then when I take a picture of this space, a screenshot of the space, if you're in that picture, if your little profile picture is in that picture I take, you will get a ticket for that. So I hope that's clear. It's hard when you have newbies to spaces. There's a lot, a big learning curve, but here we are. We can do it together. Promise. Okay. You guys want to talk about some of the names on the list for the Poker Hall of Fame? Poker Hall of Fame put out a list. Somebody DM'd it to me, and there's a list of people that have been nominated prior, and then there's a list of eligible. Let me see what it says. Ultimate Fan Resources. Wait a minute, hold up. I want to see what it says at the top of this. Players who haven't been nominated but are eligible for the Poker Hall of Fame nomination. And the first thing that jumps up to my mind is Robert Turner, the chip burner, is not on this list of people that are eligible for nomination, which is just mind-boggling to me, but he isn't. And I don't know who needs to figure that out, but his name should at least be on this list of possible people to nominate that would be eligible. So anyway, do we want to go through the list or not? You guys, tell me, do we want to go through this list? What do you think? Joey, ASG? Yes, thumbs up. Okay. So the players that have been nominated previously to the Poker Hall of Fame, and some of them have been nominated like 3 times or whatever, but have not been inducted. Hayden saying thumbs down. Okay, Hayden, sorry, buddy. Here are the ones that have been nominated, but never made it in so far. But trust me, these folks will get in eventually. Josh Aria, Jeremy Osmus, Chris Boren, Barney Boatman, Humberto Brunez, Miami John, of course. I was very happy he got nominated last year before he passed away. It's a shame we couldn't get him inducted. Norman Chad, David Chu, Annie Duke, Tom Dwan. This one surprised me, Antonio Sfandieri. You forget some of these names and you're like, why isn't he in? Chris Ferguson, Bruno Fitoussi, Ted Forrest, Phil Garfont, Bertrand Elke, Thor Hansen, George Hardy, Bob Hooks, Kathy Liebert, Marcel Lusky, or is it Lusk? I think it's Lusk. Mike DeMouth, another one. I'm sorry, go ahead, ASG.
Just say Devilfish.
Mike DeMouth, which again, how is he not inducted? And Lon Men Nguyen, Max Pescatori, Terry Rogers, Matt Savage. How is he not in? Scott Seaver, Bill Smith, and the one you nominated last year, Isaac. How do you say his name? Scheinberg. How do you say his first name? Scheinberg's
Esai?
first name. Isai Scheinberg. Thank you. Okay, so those people have all been nominated in the past, but not inducted. That's a hell of a list of players, isn't it? Okay, those that haven't been nominated but are eligible for the Poker Hall of Fame nomination are Brandon Adams, Eric Arafat, Daniel Alley, Ken Eldridge, David Bach, ODB Baker, Eric Baldwin, Nacho Barbero, Ronnie Bardo, Jim Bechtel, David Benjamin, Matt Berkey, Liv Buree, Blake Bone, Lance Bradley, I think it's Yuval Bronstein, Robert Campbell, Craig Chait, Victoria Cron, John Sin, Eric Danis, Freddie D, and I have no idea. Ray, I'm spelling his last name Dehka, no, Kharghani. Jack Effel, how is he not in? Ari Engel, Adam Friedman, Lynn Martin, Nick Gargenti, Joe Hatcham, Brett Hanks, Gus Hansen, Dan Helmier, Chad Holloway, Eric Hollreisen, Maria Ho, and Big Hooney. And where is Robert Burner, the chip burner, on that list? Why isn't he on that list? It's crazy. But anyway,
I thought I heard you say Robert Turner. Isn't that who you're talking about?
I said it, but I didn't see it on the list. Did I say it and didn't realize it?
Yeah, I think earlier in the
Hold
list.
on.
I don't know.
You said him
Might
twice.
need to set
You
soon.
said him twice to say that he's not on there.
I said him twice that he wasn't on the list, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's what okay. And guess what? I wish I made that mistake because not only is he a friend of mine, but he is so deserving to be at least on the list of possibilities. Like, I don't know how, but anyway, um, submit somebody. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because, as you guys know, I was not happy last year. And I really said I probably wouldn't do anything as far as nominating anyone this year. But I feel like A, I want to nominate Miami John again, and B, I want to name Matt Savage and Kathy Liebert and the magician, and yeah, not that I think it'll matter at this point, but anyway, here we are. Any comments, Joey?
Yeah, it's you realize that like you just read like it's one a year, so you just read like decades. We won't even live long enough to see all these names get in. So
Right.
I mean, at what point are the powers that be going to realize that we have to have more than one, right? A year.
I can't believe, especially after last year, they bent every damn rule last year to get Mike Mizrachi inducted. They broke every rule
Hmm.
to get him inducted. You would think they would have changed the rules this year to more than one person after they themselves broke all their rules last year. You would have thought that change would have come this
I
year.
know.
Like, how is Jack Eiffel or Matt Savage ever going to get in there?
Right, and Matt is so humble. Like if you saw his post today, he's
Yes.
like, "I know I have zero chance of getting in, but if you feel like it, go nominate me." Like kind of because he.
Right.
I mean, that just sucks. I mean, what does that say for one of the top ambassadors for all poker when he's just like he's done? Like I know they have zero chance of getting in. It's like
It's
it's
insane.
sad. It really is, and I don't understand.
Ugh. Well, it's so frustrating. But I also will tell you from interviews I've done over the last few years and tweets I've read that some of the poker Hall of Famers that are in the Hall of Fame don't want it more than once because they feel like it dilutes the honor. Like they're protecting, they're gatekeeping. And I don't think that's right. And I've also said this, you guys, I'm sorry I'm repeating myself for those that have been around the last few years, but there are some newbies here. Example I give, baseball, football, right? Every year they induct several, not one, but several members into their Hall of Fames, the Football Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame. They induct several new members. We have a bazillion more poker players in the world than there are football or baseball players, and we're inducting one. Like, make that make sense to me. We should be inducting no less than two every year. And I don't understand why that is a problem, other than people are gatekeeping. And then that just proves my case more why we need to have a separate entity running the Poker Hall of Fame selection process, nomination, all that. An entity that is not affected by positive or negative outcome of who the nominees and the selected are. Like it has to be changed, people. It just has to be. The prestige of the honor needs to be just that. And making it less is not making it more. It's really a bad look because it's nothing other than gatekeeping, in my opinion. So, anyway, software, any other comments?
Yeah, it's really a political process, as we've learned. So it has, the other thing too is I've always thought it's the World Series, isn't it the World Series of Poker Hall of Fame or the Poker Hall of Fame? I don't know. Anyway,
Okay, it's
what
called the
is it?
Poker Hall of Fame, but it is owned by the WSOP.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. When the general public thinks poker, they don't think some private cash game. And, and there's no way to track these private cash games. And that seems to be a lot of the criteria. And then you have, like you said, people outside of that, like Matt and Jack that probably belong in. But from what I've heard, that's never going to happen.
It isn't, because then you have the whole crowd of, oh my gosh, it's their first year of not of eligibility. They're getting in for sure, or they're on the nomination slate for sure because it's their first year of eligibility. Like, it's mind blowing to me that people even say that out loud. It's like, how entitled do you think you are to say a statement like that? Like, you're not the only deserving person of this prestigious honor. There's many current and past. And honestly, we got to fix it.
Well, there's a
Got to
whole,
fix
I
it.
mean, like, right, the members of the Hall of Fame ultimately elect. So there's a whole, all those people understand who's left and who's really voting and stuff like that, right? We don't see who voted for who.
Right.
But I guarantee you all those people know who's voting for who and who's not getting voted for and all that.
Right. And, I'm going to tell you, and John alluded to it in our interviews and when he chatted with us in spaces, it is very political. And somewhere he pissed off the wrong person. And that's what he felt like was holding him back from being inducted. And he cried when he got nominated last year. He literally cried, and I did too, because it was a battle we shouldn't have had to fight. Like, he should have been inducted on the merit of his poker playing. And he was playing into his 80s when he died. He was winning tournaments within the last 6 months of his life. He was winning tournaments. If that doesn't prove the longevity and the legacy of his poker playing, I don't know what is. It stood the test of time. Yeah. Somebody at 40 years old didn't stand the test of time, in my opinion. They're
Yeah.
just they're just getting into the meat of their career, as far as I'm concerned. But go ahead, ASG.
How many quote unquote first ballot Hall of Famers are still waiting to get in?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. Well,
Yeah, I don't.
that's a
Yeah,
rhetorical question.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, how many people, when they talk about them, say, oh yeah, you're a first ballot Hall of Famer, uh, and that's besides everybody else that should be in on like, if you don't think they're a first ballot Hall of Famer, in baseball, there's people who aren't first ballot Hall of Famers that get in on the second ballot, on the third ballot,
Right.
because that's the whole point of being on there longer. Is, your odds are supposed to be
Better.
better the longer you're on the list, and that's like the opposite now. Like Scott Seaver didn't beat the vote with Nick Schulman, so now he's got to go up against Sean Deeb, because there's only one person. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I I just think it goes back to we need to do two, maybe even three. Why not do three for
Uh,
about
I
5 years
it,
and then
yeah,
go down to two after we caught up a little bit, so to speak. Go ahead,
I think it
Joey.
needs to be like baseball,
Or
where
you
you
know,
vote on each person, or not baseball. Sorry. Well, either you vote on the whole ballot, or you vote on each person, and if you get 75% or whatever, you're so like, you might end up with the first one or not. But like, there's the backlog's way even bigger than two right now.
yeah, the backlog. The backlog is a problem. And guess what? It could be, do three a year for 5 years. And guess what? That's 15 people. You're caught up, go down to two a year from that point or something. I don't know, but we got to change it. Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, so a good example is the Woman in Poker Hall of Fame, where they just, on merit, some years there might be three players. Last year, nobody got inducted. It's just, but they're caught up. Is that what I mean? They're caught up.
Okay. Okay. Let me just tell you that the Women's Poker Hall of Fame only inducts every other year.
Oh, okay. But still,
Every other year.
is it so? It's a standard three? Is that what it is every other year?
Um, no. Like this year, somebody got inducted posthumously. How do you say that?
Oh, I can't
Posthumously.
say it either. Yeah.
Posthumously or something like
Thank
that.
you. Posthumously. Yeah, somebody got. So I want to say typically, let me think about it. The first year I went to the luncheon, it was Maria Ho and Lupe Soto. I'm trying to think, was there a third person? Oh my goodness. And last year it was three. Definitely the last induction was three, 2 years ago.
Right.
Um, I want to say that it's two, but then there's that the last time they did a third category so they can give the honor to that lady. And I'm sorry, I can't think of her name, you guys.
Right, but it should
Um,
be fluid like that, it makes sense, it's
yeah. And the reason they do it every other year is because there's not as many women with major accomplishments yet, right? So they're building that future. And so every other year seems to be a good combination of time and opportunity to happen. So go ahead, ASG.
I forget. Do we know if Grinder finished second if he wouldn't be in right now?
Wait a minute. Do we know if what, honey?
Grinder finished second in the main if he wouldn't be in right now.
No comment. Here's the thing. Not only I mean, think about it this way, SG. I'm thinking he's going in no matter what he finished, okay? Because they had any Poker Hall of Fame member available in Vegas to come to that final table and be on the sidelines to do the induction at that final table um, live. So that means they took a vote, decided to put him in, made the arrangements for everybody to be there to do the presentation when that final table was over. So do you think they would change that if he didn't come in first? I don't think so, because they
It
already
would have been
voted.
interesting if if they would have had that overshadow the winner. But yeah, it would have been interesting.
And honestly, I'm not. I I definitely wasn't on board that they did it at the final table like that because I do feel like it took away from that final table and even that second place finisher's second place. I do feel like it overshadowed that main event final table finishing. But as you guys know, I'm not happy that they broke all the rules to induct him when there were already nomination or nominees that had been nominated by the people, voted on to go on the ballot. Then there was Nick Schulman picked as the recipient to be inducted, which meant there were, what, 7, 8 others that were nominees that did not get into the Hall of Fame that were just bypassed for Michael Mizrachi, who's deserving, as you guys know, firmly believe he's deserving, but he didn't go through the process. He got pushed to the top of the line and inducted. Meanwhile, you have the people that went through the process. To me, it was a slight to them, a
I
slap in the
completely agree.
face to them.
As I said before, like I bet you if they did what they did for Mike, where they asked everybody should they be in, I bet you if you did that with every nominee, that all, if not all but one, but probably all of them would be in.
Yeah, I think that everybody will agree that he deserves to be in, but I don't think it's right that people that were actually went through the process were skipped over. And he didn't, he was not a nominee last year. I mean, this is your process, people. This is the process you have in place that these are the rules that you want us to go by. I wasted my time promoting it. I wasted my time nominating people. I wasted my time promoting those that were on the nomination list. And guess what? What did I get rewarded for as a fan of poker? Uh, that whole process was thrown out of the window. My time was wasted because they just, powers that be, decided he should go in. And so they put him in. It's not right. It's just not right. Don't have all these rules if you're not going to go by them. You're making up the rules and then you don't go by them. Wow. Like, what world am I living in right now? Anyway, here we are. Here we are. Okay. Did you guys see the David Bach tweeted that he saw a marked card at the table and asked for a replacement. The floor was brought over, the replacement was denied. And then a few hands later, another player complained about the card being marked, and then the card was replaced at that time. Pardon me. What do we think about that software?
I think they probably didn't see the mark on the card the first time, and so they left it in. And you do have some players that are like incessantly complaining about they want like a new card every time. I don't know. I mean, it's a problem, right?
Well, and I'm going to tell you, anytime a card marked or a card that's been marked has been called out at a table I've been at, a replacement has never been denied. I've never been at a table where a replacement was denied. Now, I have been at a table where they go, look at all the cards. They all have the same mark because it's from the shuffler. The shuffler makes that indent on every card. So they all have the indent and then they'll show you the indent. But I've never seen one be denied. So that's interesting. What do you think, Joey?
Ditto. So, I mean, why not deny it? I mean, the cards. I mean, what are you talking about? 10 cents here? You know what I mean, like, it's just. But all the floors walking around with decks of cards, one red and one blue or black. I'm sorry, one black in their pocket. Just divvy out the card. It's that simple. You know.
Right. I agree. ASG, got any comments?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You have to, as you said, you have to have this issue almost with a player that multiple times is complaining about marked cards that don't really. Like, I'm shocked, really. Uh, I don't know why I'm shocked, but I am.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. To me, sometimes the operators need to choose their battles, and to me, this is a battle they should just surrender to. Just give us a card. Like, let's not have a 15-minute discussion. Just give us a new card so we can be on our merry little way, enjoy our game, and, whatever. So, anyway, anybody, I'm going to come around the horn. If you guys have anything you want to bring up, now is the time. Software, I'm going to start with you. Anything you'd like to bring up or discuss?
No, have a great weekend, everybody. Win some money and win a bracelet. If you're in
I
town,
will.
let me know.
I like that theory. And if I don't see you this trip, I'm going to cry. So get your shit
I'm
together.
almost certainly gonna be there. So
All right. And the meetup game's Friday if you're free, 2 o'clock at the
this
Bellagio,
Friday,
the 26th.
26th. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was later. All right,
Yep.
sounds good.
Yep. All right, Joey, any last comments or questions?
Sorry, Sherry.
That's okay, honey.
In case you haven't noticed, we're in a heat wave here, like a big one, 109, 108, 110. Like that's the forecast. So, if you're on your way here, be forewarned. It's getting hot, and it came early.
Drink water, people. Drink water. Get a Gatorade every couple of days, electrolytes every couple of days. Drink water. You
Mhm.
notice how I didn't say alcohol? Because alcohol dehydrates people, in case you don't know. So if you're going to drink alcohol, then drink twice as much water. Get some electrolytes for sure. ASG, any last comments or questions?
Let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks. Speak of the Devils, them New Yorkers. Good luck to both of those teams. I have no dog in that race, but hopefully nobody will get hurt outside the stadium. Let's just leave each other's fans alone, people. Act like adults here. Enjoy the sporting event and be spirited, yell things at the opponents, but don't touch each other. Come on. Come on, you take the fun right out of it, and life is too short for that violent thing. Appreciate
But
everybody tuning in. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying that's what Philly's known for. We gotta keep our somewhat reputation at least slightly have above this month.
I love it. I appreciate everybody showing up today. And ladies that have shown up today, I will put a list out of who's getting the 3 tickets today. I appreciate you. Appreciate all of our listeners and panelists for sure. If you're on the felt, good luck today. Take it down, as they say. If you're not, get out, touch the grass, run through a sprinkler with your grandkids. Most of all, enjoy the day, people. Life is short. Appreciate you. You get a chip, and you get a chip, and you get a chip.